welcome. So, I want to talk about the occults, and I'm going to talk about them. And I look really evil. I don't have any mascara on, so I'm going to talk about the occults. And I'm going to talk about, because I'm a Holy Grail, I've got some stories to tell. So, I'm going to talk about this. Are you ready? Steady. Are you ready? So occultism, that can be branched off, I think, into like separate spaces, obviously. But when we think about occultism, if we think about it on the basic sides, which is, are you more creative, or are you more logic? Are you more intuitive, or are you more logic? So this really is what sets your baseline for occultism and what it means to practice occultism, because your baseline is telling you where you are more preferred. So, you know, your beliefs might be a bit more easier to grasp if you think, you know, logic is a programmable state. Occultism can be seen as programmable states, just like how you can see on another side of the spectrum of a ritual taking place, and that being more of a ritualistic perspective. It's a practical connotation to it. But the logic is more of an observational, but still a programmable state concept. So it's like there's two ways to see this. And then you get the implementers, and then you get the ones, but there's both sides. Okay? So it's an interaction. So if you can understand this from whatever brain your mind comes from, then you can understand occultism, and how we can sort of really get into understanding how religions were created in the first place. Because ultimately that was the goal, that was our baseline, it was our faith. Okay, in a humanitarian perspective, what would it be? It would be to have faith in an evolution that can take place on this plane, and it can be done peacefully as well. But then there's obviously different practices that take place on this plane that can do the complete opposite, which would be an inverted prospect. So this is how we should come towards it when we look at occultism, programmable states, and rituals. And also, that I'd like to say is that the original program or the original ritual might only ever been used because, and let me just put it out there, as a Holy Grail. How many rituals can you do on a Holy Grail? Well, there they are. Like, so there's many different types of connotations that can come with understanding occult topics and being sort of knee deep in it from a Holy Grail perspective. How would you be able to like surpass to then reach a righteous state? Because if you don't reach that righteous state, what is your state? What is your goal? You know, we always have a primary factor, it's our crown. And if it's a greed, it's down here somewhere. Like the Kabbalah, we have to figure it out like this, so that we rise. Because with love, we do rise as well. Because it's based on our heart chakras and the positions and where we function best within us. And I think this also correlates to astrological underpinning. So, for example, I have my sun in my 6th house. So that's a 6 and that's a sun. So that's where it is. So this one's pretty straightforward for me, because I can understand this from giving to others as an aspect of wisdom, understanding, but also an inward. We give ourselves wisdom, we give ourselves understanding through love. So through love, because Venus is conjunct my sun in my 6th house. So this is a very easy, accessible place for me to be. Okay, it is 7th plus position, but I can connect these very easily because I have my sun and my Venus conjunct in the 6th house. So it's almost like I can understand this one very easily. To me, this would make sense, how my combinations and understandings will come together. It's not all is one and one fits all, because we have astrology, we have to underpin these concepts as well. And I think Bodygraph did actually do that, because he underpinned astrology with that work that he did about the body graph. And it has it all there as well. It talks about gates. So this is like a travel concept. So this is a body graph. This is more of an intellectual basis to understand because they went through it all with you, and you type that in on yours, and you can see where your gates are, your progressions. So working with this now, going back to this, Venus conjunct my sun in the 6th house, so it's easy for me to do this. Okay, this is a Freemason, okay, green, and then this is a ice in beauty, okay, so this is a Freemason connotation. So this is like, I don't know if you could underpin it for a Jewish stream. I think you could probably use this, and because Freemasons don't deny religions, which is interesting. It's almost like they figured it out, that like it's a programmable state, or this is a love space. They figured this out already. This is why it's part of their the symbol as part of their underpinnings for this lower area. And we need these are paramount for the rest to work, which is interesting. Because the thing is with Freemasons is that they might include other religions, but it also makes the tree make sense as well, because people are trying to come to it. I know I slate the Jehovah's a lot, but maybe I shouldn't, because what it does is it's a different fraction. Usually this could be this aspect a lot, but it can be misused just like everything else. So it can be misused, and things can be taken advantage of, families and things like this, because a religion is so close to our hearts. It is literally it becomes part of our family. So we use it as an aspect of faith, and that's the original cause for having a religion. But if they used it to fear us, then that's just to break our tree. They forgot this Jewish underpinning. So I'm sharing it because I think it's really interesting how the religions are together, and I just want to express it. So I'm literally doing this in these videos, so that helps other people like come together and understanding that we don't have to fight over religion as well. So really, occult phenomena as well, it kind of is just more a timing thing. So it's kind of like, what era are we in? Really, what pertains to what kind of occult, topics that are really like sort of seen. What era are we in? What needs to take place on this plane? We've explored, I think Aleister Crowley explored the alien phenomena. That might be something to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, but I'd say it's more of a programmable state. I'd also say they can do rituals as well, so I think it all bleeds into together. No, I don't think it's necessarily just a specific religion. I think it's just always been within them. Just like you can do an MA in occults, and they do spells and stuff for the Arabic occult. You can get an MA in learning that. I think there's one going right now. So you can get an MA in occult and learning materials, which it's interesting. But it's Arabic, so it goes all the way back. So occult phenomena is always going to be there, whether it predates the Christian era, whether it predates the Muslim maybe, but there's something that predates it, because the goddesses always get wiped out. And there's a reason, I think, why they get wiped out. So we can understand some occult. Let's get into the occult topics now. So, maybe I should do MA. So some occult practices, they can seem really like particular, but ultimately it's just something that I learned in sociology class, which is like the nuclear family. You marry, you have kids, and then you rise, the bride, and you go to I do energies, because that's where you're going. You're not going anywhere else. You just go to I do energies, right? And with that partner, you're supposed to rise them with Darth, and then create ceremony after. That's what it is. You rise through Darth with each other. And this is kind of like the spiritual connotation, but it can be used against, or you're trying to figure something out in your own life. You have a Holy Grail, trying to like rise and bring higher knowledge, awareness, and consciousness to the masses to rise. And I know I feel safe right now. I know I'm safe. It's over. Because that's what we need. So as an occultist, and I observed things like the programs like where it's just like, what's nuclear family? This is what you're supposed to have. Like this is like normal stuff. So you just marry the the man and stuff like this. Get married. It's a manifestation that never took place for me personally. So I've never been married. So it's kind of like when it bleeds into the occults though, because it's almost like a lesson in a sociological concept, which is a social science, which we might back then have called an occult topic. And I've started to notice that a lot of social sciences are very can be occultish in nature. Psychology is all of it's occultish, occult knowledge. So I studied this well, especially from GCSE psychology, sociology. I did all that. So I went from grade 16 to doing a criminology degree, and I based a lot of things on sociology. So I see it as a subject. It's a different frame of mind. So I can see it as a programmable state over anything else. But I understand the rituals as well. So this is practical work, and you got like multiple engagement offers as a holy grail, and it's kind of like that. It gets boring because it's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's just an original. We are trying to manifest though that nuclear family, so it's almost like an overarching understanding in ESIC ways that we need to bring back together. What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? And I can feel that, and it's kind of like they want nuclear families. They want to create this. They want to create harmony on the world, and a lot of men do. And I see that. But then they're exhausted by the time they get there. It's like, I am exhausted. And it's kind of like that. And it's almost like a knight's tale because he's trying and prove some justice in the world. He's trying to push some justice out. And it's like, but it's not, it's almost like it's trying to work against them. And it's just like, I'm tired. Like, help me type thing. But it's almost like we rise together with this and we're going to take this whole plane out. And it's kind of like that. It's like a mission. It's like I see how the knights and the medieval times can come back into this. But it's a mind work. It's not like a physical one like it used to be medieval times. It's a mind one as well. So we're all like wanting things to go certain ways, and we don't want them to go a bad way. So we all can really, this is our level playing field. This is our moral compass. This is where it's at. This is an occult understanding of like hermeticity and like how we can bridge understandings with what we can do next, not just as a vindictive process, but a way to like rise from those fields of thinking who's winning. Well, it's not about just who's winning. It's beyond those concepts to understanding. You have to go all that way. You rise people to the top. You do it all the time. Like, when you're teaching people stuff, new things, you rising people right to the top. It's a position to be old, but it's respect. It's meant to be respected as well. And it's kind of like, how am I supposed to take you and me? I'm not even ready to see I can't do this for you, kind of thing. I'm a holy grail, but I'm a, it's a different world to understand the occult topics. They are kind of outdated a little bit, It was like the marry 7 wives concept, right? I understand this as well. The marry 7 wives, but it's like Allah did that. It's kind of like, do I have 7 husbands? That sounds random. It's not. It's the 7 chakra points. So you can go understand this really deep cult. I think people talk about this before, but it's the 7 chakra based systems. Like, you're marrying into these systems. In me, it's like the 7 wives concept, the Allah, and it's the gap bridged to you understanding something you need to, and then letting go, right? Because it's not yours. So a lot of times, I think there has been people who talk about this, about the chakra points and how, like, you have to clear yourself out because I'm not a married woman. So I'm not married here. I ain't got no husband. I'm a single woman. So it's different for like a Holy Grail concept because I've never been married. I don't know where these keep coming from. Somebody's done this. It's like an occult topic phenomena, like a ritual. Whereas many, the Holy Grail concept. But anyway, this is almost like falling into judgment because you might reject offers or you might not see a supportive factor taking place. And then you're in trouble. Can't like that if you're Holy Grail. And you got to treat it right as well. So this could mean your own family. This can mean your own wife. This can mean your own. As soon as like if I'm showing you something as well, this might mean that connotation to it. There's a lesson to be learned. It might just be spiritual as well. It's like I'm a high priestess. Ding, 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 ding. I already hit it. I could think of being a counselor, but at the same time, it's almost like we could be forced into telling like we're not good enough. Just to go bang down here. Oh, no one's good enough then. If I'm not good enough, no, we're not. You're not. That's kind of how I am. I can think, well, alright, mate. I look at you, I'm reading you as well. Yeah, I read you too. Thanks, mate. Right. So, bank the interlinks together. So I can bring this anyway to you as a Freemason concept. Because Freemason, right? Because I have my sun in the 6th house, conjunct in the 6th house. Ding, ding. Freemason. I like my Freemasons out there. Good ones. Anyway, this is it. I just want to talk about occults. How they come into contemporary society. How they always will exist. How you can see them, rituals or programs. What else did I say? Like, it's all about really working through this. But if you can understand the basic principles, Hermetic principles as well, in the Jewish, it makes this make sense because then you can understand where you're going wrong if you're going wrong, or where you're going right if you're going right. Where you need to take a left or a right turn. Because everyone travels all the time, every day. Okay? There is some darker layers, but there's some higher ones as well. And you gotta ride the waves. Woo! Peace.